When did you realize your best friend was actually your worst enemy? My friend Lily has been copying me since freshman year of college, and I let it happen every single time. It started with my thesis topic on childhood grief. She said it was depressing when I told her the idea, then pitched the same angle to our professor 2 weeks later. I let her have it because she was going through her parents' divorce. I should have seen the pattern then. I'll never forget her face when I showed her my new bob haircut junior year. Her eyes scanned every angle like she was memorizing it. 5 days later, she walked into our dorm with the exact cut down to the asymmetrical part. When I said, "Hey, we're twins," she laughed and told our suite mates she'd been planning it for months and that I was adorable trying to copy her. The way she said it with that little smile made my stomach twist, but I laughed along. She did the same with my vintage sundresses senior year, studied them like evidence, then bought every similar dress in town, but I owed her everything. When my dad died sophomore year, she was the only one who didn't treat me like broken glass. She let me ugly cry on her dorm floor at 3 a.m., so I let her take whatever she wanted. But my wedding was different. My dad was all I had growing up. My fiance Joe and I planned our wedding out when my dad was dying of cancer. Every detail from the peonies to the venue where my parents had their first date. I promised him I'd have that exact wedding. We tried to get married before he passed, but we were too late. I asked my fiance if we could push our wedding back so I could have time to grieve. He said to take all the time I needed. I thought I had an amazing support system between Joe and Lily. But then Lily got engaged to Marcus. They found out she was pregnant and she knew her family would disown her if she wasn't married before giving birth. I wanted to help, so I offered to share my vendor research and she laughed. She said, "Everything you picked is so basic and traditional, not my vibe at all." Then my venue coordinator called saying, "Your maid of honor Lily just toured here. Do you two plan to have a double wedding?" Something felt off, but I texted Lily and she said Marcus's sister got married there and he insisted, but it definitely wasn't her style. 1 week later, she booked it for 5 weeks before my date. The only Saturday available all year. She cried on the phone. I believed her. Then came my photographer. She swore she didn't know I'd chosen the same guy. During my florist appointment, she insisted on tagging along. Her fingers drummed against her phone while she watched me discuss centerpieces. She ordered nearly identical ones the next day. "Different phase," she said. "Totally changes everything." 2 weeks later, my designer called. Lily was trying to commission my exact wedding dress design, claiming she created it. The designer refused and got review bombed until her business almost tanked. But the final straw was my father's birthday. Lily moved her wedding to that date, claiming the venue offered a better package. I told her that we couldn't have our wedding on the same day. I'll never forget what she said. "You're right. When will you be moving your date to?" Also, I noticed some similarities and was hoping you could try not to copy for my wedding. It's kind of a tacky move. I almost punched her. I told her I wouldn't be changing my date or anything else about my wedding, and she was no longer welcome. She warned me that everyone would go to her wedding over mine anyway, so I might as well give in. I refused. The next day, I received texts from vendors saying she demanded my exact orders. 3 separate vendors mentioned someone calling pretending to be me to cancel everything. At my fiance's bachelor party, Lily showed up drunk and tried to strip dance for everyone. My fiance called me immediately, and when I showed up, she kept touching her stomach and complaining about how she was moody because of the baby, all the while downing champagne. I snatched the bottle from her, begging her to get herself together. If not for me, then at least the baby. That's when she laughed in my face and whispered, "There was no baby." Marcus arrived soon after and carried her away. I hoped to be rid of her for good. The weeks of silence that followed felt too good to be true. No texts, no calls, no social media posts. My wedding day arrived with perfect October weather, the kind my dad would have loved. I was in the bridal suite doing final touches on my makeup when I heard shouting in the hallway. Then the door burst open so hard it bounced off the wall. Marcus stood there in a wrinkled suit, his face red and eyes wild. He screamed, "You killed our baby! You and your jealous bullcrap caused her so much stress she lost the baby." He told me I was going to pay for what I did. That's when Joe appeared in the doorway, having heard the commotion from the groom's suite down the hall. Joe pinned him against the wall, but Marcus was wild with rage. Eventually, security finally pushed through the crowd of wedding guests who'd gathered in the doorway. As they dragged Marcus out, he was still screaming, "This isn't over! You're going to pay for killing our baby." The room went silent except for my ragged breathing. My makeup was smeared from the tears running down my face, and all I could think about was how Lily once again made me her scapegoat. Full story on channel, linked below.